welcome to the Ideagen Global Goals 2023 Summit at Ideagen TV. Today, I am honored to have with us Ambassador Angelos Pangratis, founder and chairman and president of Allilon.net. Welcome, Ambassador.
Thank you, George, and thank you for this opportunity, which is much appreciated.
Ambassador Pangratis, could you tell us the incredible work that you're doing at Avalon and why it was created, and perhaps most importantly, what is its core mission?
Yes, George, of course. First, it's important, in order to understand what Allilon is important to understand what was the initial motivation that guided us in its creation. Allilon was created by a group of Greeks already several years ago, a group of Greeks in the US. And our aim and ambition at that time was to contribute to help Greece emerging from its long-lasting crisis. And the aim is to see Greece and Hellenism stronger and on the path of progress and growth. In order to understand its core mission, it's also important to understand the three main goals of the Allilon network, which are the following. First, the individual support to our members and especially to our youth in their professional endeavors, from postgraduate studies to professional insertion to career development and to business initiative. Allilon is here to accompany the efforts of our individual members. It's important to understand that the youth are among the core victims of the crisis during these many years of Greek crisis, economic crisis. They are the biggest cost. They are those who suffered the biggest costs from this crisis because of the absence of development, the absence or the reduction of the professional opportunities that an economy in difficulty offered to them, and this is the biggest loss. We talk about many things, what the crisis meant for Greece during these long years. I would argue that the biggest loss and the biggest cost of the crisis was the non-developed sufficiently potential of our youth because of the difficulties that they are facing in the job market. So our main objective is to help our younger members to deal with these challenges and to develop their professional prospects. The second objective is to the second goal is to build a spirit of solidarity and mutual support among our members, but also with the organizations that we are cooperating with, and I will explain later how we cooperate and with what kind of organizations, and also in the wider Greek society. Third objective is to prepare and adapt at individual level, at the level of the group or the organizations we are working with, or the whole Greek society and the whole Hellenism, adapt to a very quickly changing world. And these are the main goals of Allilon.
Well, what incredible goals, and they're certainly notable and ambitious. And how do you create concretely the ability to reach and advance these goals across the planet?
As I said already, the core aim is our younger compatriots. In fact, we want to help them for a better professional future. And the way we do that is mainly by using a group of core mentors that we have in Allilon, and also by organizing several events and several opportunities for speed mentoring, where our mentors meet with our younger members, and they have an opportunity um, to get the advantage. These younger members have the opportunity to get some advice and some orientation. That's for the individual support. That's what we are mainly doing through our mentors. As far as the advancement of solidarity and mutual support is concerned, which is the second goal of Allilon, we basically select partner organizations and people we cooperate with who can share our values and approaches. And through them, we have an advancement of the solidarity and mutual support that we are trying to promote in the society through the partner organizations and then the wider community. As far as the third goal, the preparation and adaptation of to the changing world is concerned, this is mainly done through the themes of our events, the selection of our speakers, and our mentors. Because the mentors of Allilon have a key role, I would like to say a few words on the specificity of the mentors of Allilon. We have, in fact, defined our approach to this issue of mentoring, and this has several aspects of unique characteristics. Let me give you quickly the most important of those aspects. First of all, the mentors of Allilon are motivated by what we all consider as, we often define as magic moments. Everybody who has a significant career behind him or her knows of these moments where an advice or a good guidance received at the right moment has a very important impact on sometimes life-changing, on the next step of the younger professional. The mentors of Allilon these are our aims. These magic moments are the aim of Allilon. Thus, the mentors of Allilon are professionals, but not professionals of consulting or advisory roles. They are professionals who have their own experience. And what they are doing through the mentoring sessions of Allilon is to share this experience. In fact, they don't need any preparation. They don't need any specific training. What we are asking them to do is just to share their experience. And the mentee, the younger member who meets the mentor to get an advice, is expected to consult the mentor on serious strategic decisions, not the small details, not I want to create a business and I would like your help to develop my business plan. But the key decision, the strategic decisions, I study medicine, I'm hesitating between this and that specialty or this and that university. Can you give me your advice? Can you help me to find the right hospital where I will do my training from their specialty, etc. So the mentees come with focus on their important strategic decisions for their future, and the mentors just share their professional experience. For that reason, our mentoring sessions are in fact brief. It's quality that counts, not quantity. We don't want too many details. We want to focus on the key decision of the mentee. That's why our sessions foreseen between our mentors and one of our mentors and a mentee are basically short. We are talking about when we have a mentoring session in the context of an event. We have mentoring sessions of 20 minutes. If we have a bilateral session individually among one mentor and one mentee, the time foreseen is 40 or 45 minutes. So it's limited. We protect the mentor's time, and we encourage the mentor and the mentee to focus on what is important for the next important step of the mentee. Another specific characteristic that also tells a lot about the approach of Allilon is that, of course, we have mentors that have fantastic careers, big professors or world-known professionals. We also have what we call young mentors. These are mentors who are probably not older than 30 years old. Everybody who has finished successfully a postgraduate diploma from a specific university can already become a mentor of Allilon for the specific diploma. It's easy to understand that if somebody wants to study, to do a master's or degree or a postgraduate diploma, the best mentor who can help the young fellow to do the right thing for that purpose is the one who has just done this successfully, and not myself, where my postgraduate or the doctorate diploma dates of 40 years ago. Finally, it's also very important to underline that our mentors are guided to not only to help the younger generation and the young students or the young professionals, but also to focus on cooperation, on possible partnership or networking. So this is the context of the mentoring of Allilon that gives. It's very important because it really gives a sense of the specificity of Allilon and of our approach to the overall interaction between mentors and mentees in the context of Allilon.
It's incredible to hear the impact that you're having, Ambassador, across the planet with this incredible platform. And I'd like to ask you about partnerships. What sort of partnerships do you develop within, for the impact ultimately of Ideagen?
We have different organizations we are cooperating with, of course. Just to give you some examples, the last 12 months, we organized events with two of the most important universities of the country, the University of Piraeus and then the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki, and also with the New York College in Athens, equally with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Greece, through the permanent representation of Greece to the EU in Brussels. We worked with organizations beyond the borders of the country, like the Greek community in Torino, Ideagen. We shared part of a fantastic event last July in Athens. We are very pleased to be part of that event. The Association of Greek Scientists in Switzerland, we are working on the next event that we will have during this part, the first part of the year. The organization of Greek American professional women in New York, etc. So we are working with important organizations in the country, but also in the wider Hellenism around the world. And basically what we do we organize events with panels of speakers on some core issues of concern for each event for our youth. And we combine these panel discussions usually with a special session of speed mentoring, where a big number of mentors of Allilon is available to meet students or mentees or potential partners. We had the last year a very significant, a very important number of this mentee and mentors session, more than 1,000 in fact, which is a very significant number. And more importantly, this was a very significant increase compared with the previous year. So there is a dynamic of development of Allilon with a lot of important institutions and a quickly increasing recognition of the pertinence and the usefulness of the approach that we are developing.
Incredible to hear all of these insights that Avalon is having in terms of impact and the broad mission that you're pursuing. It is just awe-striking. And so, as former ambassador, you've experienced leadership, you've seen leadership, you have seen individuals from a variety of backgrounds leading. How do you unite this range of people to overcome differences? And then to go a bit further, how would you describe your own leadership style, Ambassador Pangratis?
Well, this is a huge question, dear George. We could spend a lot of time talking about this, but let me give you maybe three key aspects that I think are probably the more important. The real question is, I have my sense of what a leadership should be. So that's what I'm trying to develop in my own approach to the leadership that I had to exercise in my professional career and now within Allilon. So let me give you three key aspects that I think unite people in a common effort. First is the sense of serving a higher purpose. What is a higher purpose? I would say in the higher purpose, we have to see at least a couple of different dimensions. One is a higher purpose has to be a good purpose for the wider society that can improve the life of conditions of many. But that's not enough. A sense of a higher purpose also requires some compatibility and positive impact on the spiritual, I would say, spiritual and ethical advancement of the group and of each individual. I basically believe that this spiritual and ethical advancement has to be the main objective of each one's life. If we realize this, then one core management principle is that this sense needs to be shared with all the team. Make sure that they all feel part of the same noble and worthwhile effort. That means that the leader has to share, motivate, and involve to the maximum extent the whole team. That's one, I think, very important aspect. A second, also very important aspect is the recognition of the quality of the leadership. This applies to the top leader of the team, but also to the intermediate level of leadership. So a leader has to be and feel committed and able to deliver the purpose. And he has to be sufficiently, sincerely, and visibly committed to that purpose so that he or she can inspire others. In other words, don't commit if you don't believe or if you don't believe that you can, or if you are not committed sufficiently, or make sure you delegate when it's needed. Also, be very careful with the selection of the leaders within the intermediate levels of the structure that you have to manage or to deal with. Finally, I'm a big believer of the engineer's approach. I mean, the leader needs to realize that when he or she is responsible for a structure that needs to work well and deliver something, we need to see this structure, administrative or otherwise structure, as a motto. What is the most important or the more precious part of a motto? In fact, that's the approach of the engineer. The engineers know well that you don't have one more important piece of others. You have more complicated pieces. But even the simplest piece of the motor, if it does not deliver, the whole motor is not working well. So, in fact, we have more or less different pieces, more or less important pieces in terms of the complexity, etc., in the system. But in fact, all pieces, even the smaller one, is equally important for the good functioning of the motor. And if we realize that, if we see the whole living organism, which is often an administrative structure of any kind, then there is one very important consequence of it, which is that you treat everybody with the recognition of their importance, with equal respect. And this is very important, together with the commitment to the purpose for the people that participate to that structure. And that's what I always try to do in my career. And these simple principles basically mean that very often Allilon feels like, how to say, a big family.
Incredible. And so you've given us incredible insights into the direction of Avalon. I'd like to ask you personally, who have you looked up to in terms of leaders? We all stand on the shoulders of giants. That's a fact. Who are some of these giants, these leaders that you've looked up to, Ambassador Pangratis, and how have they specifically impacted you?
This is a very interesting question, because often the answer to that question also says a lot about the many aspects of the person who is responding to that question. So let me, I could say a lot, but let me talk about what I consider the major influences in my own development somehow. So I'll take two. I'll give two examples, two answers to your question. One is from the ancient history. I was very quickly absolutely fascinated from looking at our own ancient history by the lineage of mentoring. Maybe this has influenced me a lot about, even in a subconscious way, about creating Allilon. The lineage of the extraordinary, unique, fascinating mentoring from Socrates to Plato, and then with the overwhelming focus on ethical questions, which I think are the key step of the development of the personality and the society, from Socrates to Plato, from Plato to Aristotle, and from Aristotle to Alexander the Great. I don't think it's a coincidence that we have there four names who are worldwide known. Alexander the Great changed the world, but the others, I think, enabled Alexander the Great to be able to change the world. There is a lineage of mentoring that it's a big lesson and a unique reference. From more modern references, leaders, I was fascinated, and in fact, I discovered a lot myself, and it affected a lot of my thinking. The years that I have spent in South Africa as Deputy Ambassador of the EU during the first Mandela government. Mandela and Desmond Tutu, I met them, and I discussed several times with both of them. I followed in what they have done during these extraordinary years, and I was completely fascinated because what happened there, I tell you, for me, it's a miracle. It's a hope for the whole humanity. The influence of some key people. I'm talking about these two mainly. I think has changed the history. I think we could not have transited from a period of confrontation, of incredible violence, to a basically peaceful transition and peaceful coexistence, basically. In fact, we avoided the open war that could have developed if these two personalities were not there. And I think they illustrated for me the essence and the goals of the human existence, individually or as a society. The consciousness in that sense of the importance of peaceful coexistence, of tolerance to the others, can do miracles, and can still I still keep in my mind, because of these two extraordinary personalities, that this consciousness that we need to pursue can save peace and eventually can save the world even in our times. It's a huge lesson of modern history, and a unique example of the power of the spirit and the attachment to the core values that we all need to pursue.
Incredible, incredible leaders that have impacted you, incredible insights, incredible perspective. Ambassador Pangratis, do you have a final call to action for our global audience? And how can individuals, the millions of individuals that will watch this interview, find out more information about your work at Allilon.net?
A few words then. Find more information is allilonnet.com, our website. The call, as you say, I would say, if you are a Greek or a friend of Greece, you can eventually find in Allilon the right advice or the right partner for your own professional advancement. If you have some professional experience that you believe one day can be or may be useful to somebody else, join Allilon, be a mentor, maybe with an investment of a few hours per year, because we don't request too many hours from our mentors. We expect them to be available as much as they can. You can change eventually the life of or the professional life of one or more compatriots around the world. All in all, everybody has something useful to offer or to receive in Allilon, now or later. Thus, consider to join the big family of Allilon and our efforts for a stronger Greece, for a stronger Hellenism in a better world.
Well said, as always, Ambassador Pangratis, global leader, luminary, founder and president of Allilon.net. Thank you for all you're doing. Thank you for your leadership. And most importantly, thank you for changing the world.
Thank you, George. Thank Ideagen for this wonderful opportunity. I'm very glad to be involved and to cooperate with Ideagen.
Thank you, Ambassador.